What does it mean when we say, as English teachers, that we teach grammar? I was at a party here in Ecuador with all Americans a week and a half or so ago, and it was in a tourist hub, and there wasn't any Ecuadorians around, but I was introduced by the host of the party saying that I was an English teacher. And the American guy that I just met and that was sitting next to me, he turned and he said, "Okay, well, please correct my English if you hear anything." "Oh yeah." And I said, "No, that would be pedantic." He said, "No, please, please." That's not the first time that somebody's reacted that way, hearing I'm an English teacher. And these people, for the most part, unless they've had teaching experience, they don't know anything about what an English teacher actually does when he's teaching Ecuadorians to speak English. I asked him, "Well, do you know the difference between prescriptive grammar and descriptive grammar?" And he said, "No." But his reaction is not common. A lot of Americans would run the other way when they hear the word grammar. And it sounds more complicated than it is. Prescriptive grammar is like a list of rules that you have to conform to. Often it's about prioritizing one dialect over another. But looking at it as grammar as being descriptive, it's a description of how people talk. And that's the best definition I can give of grammar. Grammar is a description of how people talk. But there's also the difference between idiosyncratic English and idiomatic English. So when students make mistakes when they're learning English, it's not so much that the mistakes are wrong because they don't adhere to a list of grammar rules, as that they're speaking in an idiosyncratic way, a way that's not attested over wide areas where English is spoken. And the idiosyncrasies come from the interference that Spanish provides and from lack of experience in English. I turned to a guy, a Peruvian guy that was there, who had lived many years in the United States and then came to Vilcabamba to retire because it's a hub of not so much tourism, although there is that, but a lot of foreign people have bought property in this valley. Vilcabamba means La Valle Sagrado, that is the sacred valley. It's in the province of Loja, but it's got a really nice climate since it's lower than the mountain city of Loja. And when I said to him, "Hey Mario, you speak idiomatic English," he was like, "What's that?" The other guy, the host of the party, was like, "Is that supposed to be a compliment?" Of course, I would wish that all my students would speak idiomatic English. But if you don't know what these terms mean, like prescriptive grammar, descriptive grammar, idiomatic English, or idiosyncratic English, people can become a bit defensive. But as a linguist or as a scientist, my job is not to judge whether somebody's speech fits into some external criteria that we think is somehow better. But if the students that are learning English are making mistakes, then it's not that it's wrong, it's idiosyncratic, and we want to make it idiomatic. So any native speaker would be a good model for learning how to speak English, whether or not they use the Queen's English or whether or not the grammar is absolutely quote-unquote perfect, because there is no perfection, and different regions speak different ways. And part of the experience of learning English is, for students, is becoming aware of and tuning the ear to be able to listen to like the New York accent or the Texas accent, or what things are common to American English, for example. I've been doing a study of American English, because and trying to listen objectively, which is hard because it's my language, but because I tried to develop strategies so that um, I can impart them to my students who want to have a more authentic American accent, which is a good goal.